Welcome back to the Rewind Tournament Expert Division opening round, hole number 12. Here we're going to be setting up for the Sniper Rough Bump for Albatross. We're using a Kingmaker. We're starting with a QB 9 plus and then switching to APOC 5 plus. The approach shot requires Sniper 9 plus. The adjustment for the drive is P3 plus 10% max. We're going to start with our quarterback. We're going to place the blue ring on the right rough at the top of the +0. Now, there are some wind angles that you need to be aware of on this drive so that you don't roll long. The spin set you can go about this one of two ways. You can check your wind angle and then set your spins, in which case if you catch the crosswind angle, you'll play it with 4.2 top spin. If you catch the tailwind angle, you'll play it with 4 top spin. Or you can just set either 4 or 4.2 top spin and then add a few clicks of underpower or overpower as needed depending on whichever wind angle you get. But it's important that we don't overdrive this. You don't want to be anything past 331. 331 is like the limit. You'll be right at men's sniper. So make sure you practice this drive. Get familiar with the wind angles and what you need to do to keep yourself between 325 and 329 roughly. So after you set up with your QB, switch to your APOC sniper bag. Again, the adjustment is P3 plus 10% max numbers. What I can tell you is, since we're not in plus yards, we don't have that to be able to gauge whether we're pulling, tailwind or headwind or crosswind. But I can tell you this, just based off where we're setting up, this tree right here in the front lets me know whether or not I'm pulling tailwind or crosswind. If I'm close to this tree, which my center line is right here right now, then I'm pulling headwind. So if that tree is, I would say, if you're anywhere close to that tree, probably even all the way just slightly outside of that tree, I would consider that to be tailwind. If you're in this bush here, I consider that to be crosswind. So basically, if we just eyeball the bush, use the right side of the bush as your line. Anything over here, consider crosswind. Anything over here, consider tailwind. Now, with that being said, I'm playing this with a Kingmaker. If you play this with a wind 4 ball, it's going to be a little bit different story, right? You're not going to get quite the wind push that I'm getting. So just keep that in mind. But crosswind needs 4.2 top spin, 3 left spin. Tailwind needs 4 top spin, 3 left spin, right? Or if you prefer, you can use clicks of OP, right? We're going to play this with left curl so that the center line is touching the inside of the shot circle, and we're playing it just before circle drop OP, right? So if you see here, I had the tailwind angle. I played it with the 4.2 topspin, and my drive went 330, right? So I'm right there on the edge. And that's why I'm telling you guys to pay attention to this. I don't want to see you run long and be between clubs. So pull it straight, pay attention to your pull angle, tweak your topspin or overpower as needed, trying to get right around 328 or so. For the approach shot, the base shot calls for P3 minus 20% at slider. We're using 4.5 topspin only, and we're playing just before circle drop OP. Now, with that being said, there's a couple of things you need to look out for. We're counting rings from min here, first of all, to get our slider values. So set your spins, count rings from min until the tip of your ball guide is about a half a square through the center of the cup. One ring is 3%, 2 is 5, 3 is 8, 4 is 11, 5 is 13, 6 is 16, 7 is 18, 8 is 21, 9 is 24, 10 is 27, 11 is 29, 12 is 32, 13 is 35, 14 is 38, 15 is 41% slider. Now, if you were paying attention, you might have noticed that I added a little bit more topspin. So I started with 4.5 topspin because my drive was long. I needed to add a little bit more topspin so that my yellow ring was completely inside the rough. For safety's sake, even though we're not landing that close to the top, my recommendation is always make sure that your yellow ring is in the rough. If you need to readjust your topspin to make that happen, then that's what I would do. Also, if you get a short rollout on your drive and you're between 5 and 9 rings from min, you're going to need to add 0.2 to your adjustment. If you're between 10 and 14 rings from min, you need to add 0.4 to your adjustment. Also, high winds, if your wind is between 8 and 8.5, you need to add an additional 0.1. And if it's between 8.6 and 9.1, then you need to add an additional 0.2. That's on top of what you're adding for rings from min. So if you're close to min within 5 rings, don't worry about it. If you're, 6 to 9 rings, add 0.2. If you're 10 to 14, add 0.4. You can even add 0.2, actually from 5 to 9 rings, sorry, add 0.2, and 10 to 14, add 0.4. On top of that, if you have heavy wind, 8 to 8.5, add another 0.1, 8.6 to 9.1, add another 0.2 to that. Other than that, we're playing just before circle drop OP. Pull it as straight as you can and do your best to hit perfect. Hopefully, you're walking away from hole number 12 here with the albatross. P3 minus 20 is the base, and then you'll need the tweaks that I gave you. The further into your club, the more wind push you're going to get. That's why you need to add that additional amount to your adjustments, and also the same goes with the wind strength. The higher wind, you're getting more wind push, and you need to add more to the adjustment to compensate for that additional wind push. Good luck. I hope you all get the drops, and we'll catch you on the next one.